Hey guys, Slurpy Swamp is back and we are revisiting this iconic POI in the Chapter 2 remakes by bringing it to life with clay and then adding some night glowing slurp to it.
ClayClaim. Welcome to this exciting and gigantic tutorial where we dive back into Slurpy Swamp, reimagined in the Fortnite Chapter 2 remix. First of all, I wanted to thank you, all of you, for your amazing support and your ideas and suggestions in the comments. And there is one comment from over 4 years ago that has stayed with me, and today I'm thrilled to finally bring it to life. I'll show it to you in a minute. This comment suggested adding something incredibly special to the point of interest we creating today. And that's exactly what we are going to do today, adding glowing slurp to Slurpy Swamp. I'm super excited about this, and I already have some great ideas on how to achieve it. I started with the cutouts of the blueprint. I captured this view by watching replays, zooming out as much possible, and then print it out. For the base layer, I used some smooth brown clay to capture that muddy, earthy feel to this location. This layer is crucial for grounding the swamp, and we are building on top of it with ochre to capture the shape of the islands. But before we continue, I'd like to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor.
For the past years we've been bringing clay characters to life, but behind the scenes we've been working on something much bigger, a stop-motion movie called Mole Monastery. But the project became too massive and we hit a wall. Balancing this movie but also the YouTube channel, we had to pause. Until now. AI entered the scene. It was a game changer. Thanks to talented freelancers we found on Fiverr who specialize in AI video editing, we found a way to bring Mole Monastery back to life. I shared some initial stop-motion scenes with Peter, briefed him on the look and feel we wanted to achieve, and he trained an AI model to match our handmade style perfectly. The results blew us away. If you have a project that deserves to see the light of day but you don't have all the skills yourself, check out Fiverr's top freelance talent at fiverr.co/ClayClaim and use code ClayClaim for 10% off your first order to make your ideas a reality.
And I'd like to add to this, without experimenting, without having the personal capacities to expand and include new technologies, a project of this scope will not survive, because it takes years to create. I have learned that, and I'm super thankful for Fiverr to sponsor today's video and supporting the channel. And now let's jump back, creating some more muddy, dirty outlines around the islands. If you're enjoying this creation and also looking forward to the treatment at the end with the glowing slurp, hit that like button. It really helps support the channel and lets me know that you want more Fortnite builds. We need the cutout of the blueprint again to figure out where we have some darker areas in the water. So this next part is all about the water, one of my favorite steps. I'm using a mix of turquoise, aqua and dark blue to get a perfect slurp water effect. And I'm not mixing it too much so that we can still see some different colors in there. Slurpy Swamp wouldn't be complete without that special water that heals players as they wade through it. And we are going to create this with some liquid clay later on. It's a very unique Fortnite feature, and I think it entered the scene back in Chapter 2. I can't imagine a world without slurp juice anymore, because it has changed the mechanics so much in the game. I'm now adding some olive green to get these brown, blue, greenish patterns in the water and in the swamp. and it will also emphasize this glowing look, which we hopefully get in the end. In the Chapter 2 remix, the swamp is back with some additional surprises. It's still full of Slurp barrels, so you should be ready to stack up on shields quickly if you land there. If you're aiming for the best looting route, try landing on the right side of the swamp. It's stacked with chests. Start at the ground level near the entrance, which we will also create in a minute at the buildings and the building part. Grab the first chest and work your way around the barrels. Take a moment to look for players landing nearby. You can spot them from the rooftop if you're fast, but it's getting crowded very quickly. So I try to avoid an early fight. The most difficult part of this creation had been getting all the tiny hills right, adding all these grassy areas, but also making and adjusting them so that bridges would fit. So I used the cutouts of the blueprint a lot in the creation process, especially on the areas right next to the rivers. Some more rocks here. And then we are about to enter the building phase for the building. Yeah, this is another preparation for another bridge. We have 3 bridges in total, but you probably already know this better than me because you have played more than me. These are strategic points where to enter this area, and then we have this beautiful outlet of Slurp juice, which is flowing into the river. And I consider this part of the sewerage as one of the buildings. In Slurpy Swamp, the main factory has this industrial look with pipes and chimneys. I will use grey and silver clay for that. I tried to cut it out separately from the blueprint, from the landscape, so that we get all the roads and buildings right. This is the same technique I used on nearly every Fortnite location I have created in the past. By the way, if you have a specific suggestion, drop it down in the comments. So, the very first one was Tilted Towers, and this feels very similar to that. The very first base layer is bright grey, dolphin grey. Then I added just a little bit of black, and we can place all these blueprints on the different layers of clay and cut them out to create all the sidewalks, the dark surface of the city, the space in between. Well, let's call it a city. These are the roads, and we already added some of the zebra crossings as well. With silver clay I have just created the roofs of these 2 buildings. They are very similar on the left side, and the silver clay, it's just very a very thin layer of silver clay. So these are the trucks, and there is one lying on its side, and we have some boxes lying around. It was just impossible to get all the tiny things into the creation. Now that I have created this 4 years ago, you may judge from today's perspective if I missed some important stuff laying around. We have the one truck which was hitting the wall, and we're about to create that as well. But let me first get this huge building, the main tower, into shape. This was the one where I landed on, and we have some railing around, and also this beautiful Slurp sign on top of the roof. Yeah, to get and to match this industrial look, I try to add some more pipes and tubes, and the chimneys later on, of course. The clay color's name is terracotta, and after oven hardening I will glue this onto the buildings. Then we have some more windows on the roofs, and maybe some more pipes and tubes, and we are ready to go into the oven. Freshly baked factory! It's oven hardened and we can place it onto the soft clay of the landscape by using the blueprint again. In this gameplay it's already night, but in our creation it's still daylight. We are working on the bridge, but after having finished all the important parts of the map, we will switch to night mode and mixing the night glowing slurp. The bridges are places on the map which are quite important because this is where you enter this area. But on the other hand, you're also quite exposed. And yeah, I got shot a lot when I was just walking over the bridges very innocently. How do you like the new function to upgrade your weapons? If you have suggestions for the next Clay videos, please let me know. Leave it down in the comments. Maybe I should do a video completely on weapons in Fortnite. And also, thanks again for your support. Please give a thumbs up if you like the video. It helps a lot on YouTube. Who would have thought that it is possible to create a whole bridge just with paper clips? I wanted to show you one more gameplay, which I'm really proud of. Maybe it's not special to you, but I was really proud of this part. We have some more buildings which are not located in the center of Slurpy Swamp. We have these beautiful forest buildings for recreational purposes, and they're also located right to these mud holes where we will fill in some liquid clay, aka Slurp Swamp stuff liquid. Now we have created some more pipes and tubes which I already had oven hardened, and we will place them. Look at that. It looks so beautiful. Oh, there's another hole. Time for the finishing touches. I'm adding trees and swamp plants to fill in those lush areas around the water. There is another water spot again. Slurpy Swamp wouldn't be complete without its signature vegetation around. And what is missing? The liquid clay for the water. This step is very satisfying to me, and we are creating some barriers just in case. And I start by filling these muddy holes with the liquid clay. Inside the water we also have some beautiful grass and plants. And I'm just throwing in some acrylic green there. As the liquid clay is still liquid, we can just paint it inside. And now with this tiny barrel we make the second mixture for today, 3 in total. We are mixing this beautiful slurpy color by getting in some powder pigments. And we will get that healing glow, making it look like slurp water is oozing out of the ground. Maybe we add a little bit of green there as well. It's also the same mixture with raisin, which I used for Ripley. And now just a little bit for the outlet areas. And while this is hardening in the oven, we take this special paper. It's wrapping paper to create all the trees, because this time I created the tree trunks a little bit too thin, and using clay would have been just too heavy for these tiny thin trunks. We were using this green paper. So we go with it, gluing the tiny balls together, sometimes 2, sometimes 3, and then we have a bunch of them. Now, after oven hardening and cooling down, we will glue all these different parts of the trees into our creation. But I will just remove this outline and maybe we add some more liquid clay to it to get really round edges and so that the water is dripping off. This transparent polish also helps with that effect of being very transparent. It already looks so nice with all the trees coming to life, and I'm pretty sure I missed some of the trees in the map here. There is one last detail which is missing on the map: the chimneys. I'm coloring the upper part black and we glue it onto the roof. This is the third mixture of Slurp which we are getting into our creation, and this one is special. It's the latest recipe of liquid clay, so it's 2024, and this one is illuminating once you hit it with a black light. I accidentally found that out, and I try to link it under this video. And now let's bring it together. The glowing Slurp and Slurpy Swamp. We also should add a little bit of fog in there for the beautiful atmosphere at night. And guys, that's it. Slurpy Swamp, and it's glowing in the dark. A big thanks to Fiverr for sponsoring today's video. Check out fiverr.co/ClayClaim and use code ClayClaim for 10% off. Thank you so much for watching. If you don't want to miss the next video, please subscribe and hit the notification bell